You're listening to Weeknight Wizards.
Hello, welcome back to Weeknight Wizards. I am your friendly neighborhood GM, Michael. There's a lot of mocking me happening on the cameras that the folks can't see at home, but I see it, and it hurts my feelings. We are here back at we're actually starting a new campaign today. This is Caenis, A Land of Fear and Frost, a 13th Age campaign that we're making up as we go. You may have some of you may have tuned in and watched us do a world building session. Surprisingly, our highest viewed content on YouTube, despite it being completely unwatchable. I'm sure. So we spent a lot of time because I wanted to make sure that everyone had we could all work together to kind of build and do world building, do stuff that we wanted to all buy in and watch or play together. I said watch because I was looking at the Twitch stream there. I was watching. And we did all that and it was really fun. And then I took all of it and kind of said, you know what, I'm just gonna cobble together what makes sense to me from this. And Canis was born. I have used a lot of those ideas. I've tweaked some things. I've tried to fit it together. And we have made this terrible, distrusting hellscape you see before us. Assuming that Joe actually moved us into the next section and you don't just see starting soon.
I did.
Great. Good job, Joe. I stopped watching the stream, clearly, so I would stop doing that. I'd like to go around and introduce our players, and I am going to start with a player question. So one of the things, I just moved back to New York like a month ago, and I have taken upon myself to do. I said, you know what, what I want to do. One of the things is I want to just try out more stuff, and one of those things has become crafting, and I want to know what was the last artsy craft bullshittery that any of you have done. So if you could just say who you are and what you as a real human being have done that's artsy or crafty. I hear Discord going off and I don't have enough windows.
I can go first. My name is Joe. I think it's not really crafty, but it's the only thing I can think of. The last thing I did is I repaired and replaced some parts on my arcade stick, my fight stick.
That
That's
counts.
what the kids are calling it these days.
Yeah. Because I had to play more Street Fighter.
Combo breaker.
Yeah.
That's
it was
had
Evo.
to. You had to.
Well, it was Evo last weekend, so
Right.
not to date this recording.
Don't dox Joe. You know when he was polishing his arcade stick.
Hey there. I'm Gregory. Are we saying character stuff yet or not?
No,
yet?
we will do that after.
Great. The last thing is actually kind of an anti thing, but because I also am moving soon, I had to take down my glorious and beautiful soundproofing wall that I had set up a while ago that had kind of a cool multicolored pattern and all these hexagonal different panels and things that did a lot for the sound quality of my room. They are now all gone. That's why I sound like shit today. So I apologize for that, but hopefully next time that'll be fixed. But yeah.
You sound great. I'm just being mean.
Hi, I'm Anthony. And the last artsy or crafty thing that I did, I'm not going to count coloring with my son because that's not something that I myself did. It's something that I did for somebody else.
It's okay if he beat you in coloring, Anthony. You could admit it.
He is 19 months old. He did not beat me in coloring, Michael.
I showed that fucker. It was box.
I showed him what's what. Last year, I think, was my buddy's birthday. He does a group birthday, and the theme was summer camp. And
Oh.
I made a friendship bracelet.
That's very sweet.
That's nice.
So this doesn't matter to the stream because we don't show video, but I'll show the last thing I did, which was admittedly insane, where I bought a weird vase on Facebook Marketplace for $10 and then proceeded to cover it in mirror tiles.
Ooh.
It's
Whoa.
very insane.
That's sick.
That is sick.
I like it, but it was weird to just like, I'm like, this is what I'm gonna do today.
It's
love
great.
that.
It's also
That's very
great for an
cool.
audio medium.
We can post it.
So-
Hey, you know what? We can post it in our socials.
Yeah.
Follow us on
yeah.
Instagram
That's
at
dope,
Weeknight
Michael.
Wizards.
Yeah. That was my thing. I also bought one of my favorite thing that I don't even know if I could show it on here. I have in my new apartment I have a fireplace and I fitted it with LEDs so that it now glows like a fireplace, which is really fun. And I put a weird brass cat statue in it. So I'm going for real quirky apartment decor, as you can tell.
What's the cat statue's name?
This is actually a debate. So when I went to, I got it from this guy who is an antique dealer because it's an old brass cat statue from I think from the 40s, back when brass statues were like the hot ticket item, and
God, I miss
all
those
the
days.
brass workers were before they were out of jobs from AI. Yeah, so it's cool. But he said that he named it Samantha after Bewitched. I was like, that's cute. I like witchy for a cat name. But I was like, but if I think of witches, and like it makes me think of like Sabrina. I'm like, Sabrina feels too on the nose. But I ended up going with Nyx, Nyx, which is the Greek goddess of darkness. Yeah.
Also the mom of
Of Hades.
Agrius.
Yes.
In Hades.
Well, mom, quote unquote. Spoilers for Hades.
Oh yeah.
I did also name my weird vase because I'm like, it is a flower vase, so I named her Poppy.
Is it a spoiler if it's just actual Greek mythology? Like you can look that up.
Anthony, it's only like 1,000 years. You can look up anything. That's not fair.
You're right.
Hey, spoilers.
I watched. I think I've said this on stream before, but I was watching The Wire for the first time this last year, and I listened to I love listening to like a deep dive companion podcast when I binge watch something. And literally, it was like episode 2. They started talking about the characters like that were about like going to die this season. I was like, "Come on, guys!" And they're like,
Wow.
but here's the thing: they're like, "Look, they did it in like 2021. They're like, this is a 20-year-old show. They're like, you can't hold us to spoilers."
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not unfair, but I was still like, God damn. They got better as it went along, but I was like, damn.
I mean, you did like basically look up the Wire spoilers companion podcast.
No, they did get better. They changed. They stopped spoiling it, and we're just like, keep an eye on this thing. Is how they eventually started landing on it. So like, but yeah, it was a great. It's called Down in the Hole. If anyone wants a great Wire companion watch podcast, it's a very good podcast. Anyway, so that's enough about me and my vase and watching The Wire. We're gonna play a game, and I would love it if we could go around the horn, as they say, and have everyone say, again, just say your name. Well, I guess they can see it on stream, but if for anyone listening, say your name and just give us like a couple the elevator pitch for who your character is, name and maybe your class, and like what's their deal. I'll start with Anthony.
Sure. I am playing a character whose name is Atravea Kevesh.
You said that like you don't know.
I didn't have my
Kevesh.
Kevesh.
Yeah.
I didn't have the character sheet up. I didn't remember her last name. She is an elf. Elves are relatively new to this plane. She is formerly part of the faction, the Silver Swords of the Empire, and she is currently on a hiatus. like a break from
Sabbatical.
a sabbatical from military service, because her arm was bitten off by a shark and
Land shark.
Wow.
a land shark, not just a land shark, an icebound land shark. So she just was fitted with a prosthesis, and that was her sword arm, and she's still getting back to it. So she's kind of like on a walkabout to find herself and relearn as a now level 1 sword fighter how to fight.
So now, anyone listening to this or watching this, you have to decide if Atravea is more of a Jaime Lannister, probably I guess that's spoilers, or a Melania from Elden Ring.
Or a Luke Skywalker,
That's true.
From
Or the
Yeah.
Anakin Skywalker.
or an Anakin Skywalker, or a General Grievance.
Like pretty much half the people from Star Wars. Lightsabers, they really lost their,
Is
their sting. You could just cut limbs off.
Are we telling a Star War? Is that what we're doing here?
Joke's on you. Every story I tell is a Star War.
Damn.
And in this case, kinda. I mean, it's planar, so planar war. But yeah, very cool. And Greg, since you got to get a quip in there, why don't you tell us about your character?
Hey, there we go. Just as I planned. I'm Gregory. I will be playing a half-orc paladin called Phalanx. Phalanx is a member of the Exiled. The Exiled, which we'll get into a little bit later, used to be I guess a kingdom of their own right. They got overthrown. Many of the Exiled would say unfairly, and they rallied around their kind of icon or godlike figure, and their purpose is to not only provide kind of mercenary might to the power struggles that exist currently, but also their ultimate goal is to kind of reclaim their homeland because they were kicked out of it. Phalanx is very, very devoted to this cause. It also carries a fucking massive warhammer, almost comically large.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
Probably
Acme
the
style.
least convenient weapon for an actual phalanx formation.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not the point. Your name comes first, and then your specialty comes later.
Yep.
So there you go.
I realized I did not, in my entire babbling, say what my class was.
Oh yeah.
I am playing a sword mage.
Yes, this is a little new. It's a third party class, but we're gonna try it out. Seems pretty cool. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, we're looking forward to it. Joe, why don't you tell us about your character?
Yeah, my character, his name is Ernest Jethro. He is an 86-year-old man from like a smaller town outside of Gorvin. For a long time he's ran like a hunting outfitter like lodge. So he doesn't like actually go out and lead hunts. Maybe he did in the past. But he kind of like works the lodge, makes sure the fire is stoked, kind of tells people where to go. Kind of, helps triangulate where, like the hunt, whatever the target of the hunt is, like where you might find it. And at some point, more recently, he tried on some elven mage tech that blew up in his hands and fused to his arm. So he is a chaos mage, and casts spells not on purpose and at the whims of randomness.
Yeah, the Chaos Mage is what we have never played with, and it seems like a D&D wild magic on steroids. So,
It's like wild magic but fun.
But actually random, yeah.
Yeah, it's way closer
So,
to
and-
the wild magic barbarian. I think is actually the better of the wild magic classes in D&D, but I am biased towards barbarians over sorcerers.
That's pretty fair. Barbarians all day.
Oh, I should also say, Ernest has always wanted to be an adventurer. And now that his wife has passed away, his kids have grown up and moved away.
I thought you were really gonna say his wife has passed away, his kids have passed away.
I thought about it, but I think his kids are still alive, if only because I need things to fill out my 5x5 that I haven't written yet.
Classic.
It is classic.
No one to fuck with. Everyone's dead.
Yeah. So that's Ernest.
Nice.
Can I ask a question?
No. Okay. Yes.
All right. There are half orcs on this plane.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
That's the weird part.
That's the thing that.
I realized it.
Okay,
I
have
realized
two
it as I was
questions.
thinking about it. Yeah.
My second question is: Ernest Jethro going to be the Paul Idaho of this world?
Maybe.
He's gonna be the Jackie Daytona. I think.
You mean the Duncan, Idaho?
I'm not a Dune fan.
Paul Atreides, I think is his name.
I think you mean Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah. He is going to be the Dunkin' Donuts of this world.
Canis runs on Jethro.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would buy
title.
both a shirt and a hat that says that on it.
But
Keep an eye out for our T Public page that does not exist.
I will say for a long time,
I'll make a hat that says that.
For a long time, nobody knew whether Ernest was his first name or a title.
He's Ernest. Jethro.
He is Ernest Jethro. But Ernest is indeed his first name.
I would like the idea if your nickname eventually be like Lion Jethro, so you're like Ernest Lion Jethro. Okay.
No, his title's Lion, so it's Lion Ernest Jethro. Yeah,
Ernest Jethro. Oh boy, love it. Are we ready to jump into this world of fantasy to strap on our imagination hats and blast off to another world?
Consider our hats strapped on.
Give me my strap on and blast me into another dimension. I'm ready.
Why do people keep saying that to me this week? All right. All right. Okay. Well, I'm gonna give a little introduction, and then we are gonna jump right in. All right. And in in true Michael fashion, it's gonna be when I say a little introduction. I wrote like a page of things that I think are relatively important for the listener to comprehend. So here we go. The land of Caenis is a land of risk and reward. The hostile tundra has given way to a hard and mistrusting people. A difficult life can spark invention and industry, however. Far from the prying eyes of the greater empires and the less remote corners of the world, Varda, the mages and master artisans of Caenis built marvels. The three kingdoms, Goravin, Chal, and High Calavan, formerly the kingdom of Reknus, which Greg mentioned earlier, dominate the frigid coastal peninsula of Caenis and have for centuries in a tense peace masking a secret arms race. The three kingdoms pressed hard for technological advantages. The land's mages wove their craft into the fabric of society, leading to great airships, shining glass towers, and wondrous tools that all became part of daily life. The last half-century, however, was marked by a rending of the planar barriers between the Northlands of Caenis, as the Empress, the fallen Empress, I should say, and the first waves of elves and Maraga, shapeshifters, poured into the plain of Varda from their own plane of Trellisair. The elves formed a kingdom amidst the plain-scarred fields, which became known colloquially as New Trellisair, where the Empress still resides and shepherds her people through the planar rifts. The elves brought new arcane arts to fuel the arms race of Caenis, which helped spread the acceptance of elves throughout the lands. Unfortunately, that also meant that the Maraga, the formless folk, have infiltrated the lands as well. With the arrival of those who can swap their face at the drop of a hat, distrust in Caenis is at an all-time high. To make matters even more complicated, the Skyways have been waylaid by vampiric pirates of Scornvale, a collection of floating islands that were broken free from the earth during the planar incursion. The Sanguine Swords, as they are known, are led by the pernicious Skywarden, Helson the Reaver, and have become a scourge of the lands. Anyone who travels too close to these at night risks coming face to face with bloodthirsty sky pirates. However, our story begins in a prosperous settlement along the banks of Lake Lornan, It was a place that boomed amidst the tensions of the Three Kingdoms, called Drux Landing, named after its founder, Hilda Drux. It is a stopover and a trading town for many that has also attracted more eclectic or enterprising settlers who seek an independent life away from the drama of the Three Kingdoms Cold War. It's resisted takeovers from its neighbors and remained a place of neutrality despite the ever-increasing threats that Caenis imposes upon it. 3 unlikely adventurers have found their way to Drux Landing, each summoned by a mysterious letter marked with an indelible magical seal of authenticity from a famed seer and magical visionary, the magician Tall Cinder. Their notes each read, "You are cordially invited to meet with Tall Cinder of the Free Mages Society to discuss matters of fate and fortune. Please join him on the day of the new moon in 3 weeks' time at the following address." Now, I'd like, as we begin, to go around and say, where was your character when they received this letter before they began their travels 3 weeks before we begin? We start again with Anthony.
I think that I was probably already heading south, just kind of on a walkabout. So I was probably like
5 hexes deep.
somewhere around there, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say 5 hexes deep?
It actually is measuring in hexes, if you see there, like 6 hex.
Oh. I can't read hexes. I'm
You're not a warlord or a warlord.
I can't read hexes. I'm not a warlord.
I meant warlock.
So there I was, 5 hexes deep.
Yeah, just kind of wandering in the wilderness.
Okay. And you received it. It's funny because then I imagine like a Skyrim-esque courier running up to you, like, got a delivery.
I kind of imagined like a carrier falcon flies down out of the sky. She reaches her new platinum arm up and just like catches it. Like this kind of thing happens all the time. Grabs the note.
Yeah. And gets a letter and starts heading to Drux Landing. Are you traveling alone?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go. Greg, how does Phalanx receive his letter?
Yeah, I think Phalanx was in Goreven. Is it Goreven or Goreven?
Goreven.
Goreven.
Yeah.
I think Phalanx was in Goreven. The exiled are a mercenary force that are hired by the other, like Chal and Goreven and others, to kind of both keep peace but also ward off enemies. So they occasionally do work for all different types. But Goreven is also where there are mines for the specific type of ore that the exiled use for their weaponry, and specifically the hammers that they use. And so there's kind of a trade agreement. So I think it's not out of pocket to imagine that the mercenaries are also kind of diplomats in certain ways, especially if they get hired again and again by the same forces. So I think probably finishing a mission for Goreven, went to report, and then that's where the letter was delivered.
Yeah, they're peacekeeping monks who, definitely police the galaxy. And oh, sorry, that's Jedi. Yeah.
Oh shit! This is a Star Wars. Fuck.
It's a Star Wars. Gotcha. Joe, how about Ernest? Ernest Jethro.
So Ernest was I think he was at his hunting cabin, hunting lodge. Which we're gonna call the Ernest Inn.
Okay.
He I think he was kind of cooking for maybe some more like higher class people from Drux Landing who had come up to do like a hunting trip. And he kind of receives this letter, and then he's just gonna kind of hitch a ride with them back to Drux Landing.
Nice. Very cool. Well, I'm going to transfer us. You all have made your way and found yourself at an unlikely meeting point, which is the southern docks of Drux Landing. And I've placed you all on this map, and love to see. Do you all have vision? Do you see a big a building that you can't see inside? And can you move your tokens?
Yes.
I see a black rectangle.
Yes. If you scroll down.
Yes.
I see
Yes,
the
you guys
bottom
are
of
all-
the black rectangle.
Back up, because you're down on the dock, not in the building.
I
Yeah,
have
we can-
no visual.
Well, you have a character here, and that character is there. We go.
I can-
How about now?
I can
Anthony?
move my
we
token
go.
and I can see the entire map minus what is blacked out.
I see it all.
I think So I gave you guys all default token settings, so you should always have vision when it comes. Let me just see. Yeah. Okay. I think I might have just added your token before I added that, Anthony. So. Okay. Yes. And I'm just checking. I see your preview. Okay. Yes. So you find yourself at this dock. You've been maybe you dropped off by the boat, maybe not. But you all have these similar letters. You find yourselves together, and you find that the notes are all pointing to one specific address, and that is, of course, the big, dark building. What do you do?
Icon rolls.
Let's do icon rolls. Let's.
Yes.
Things
We're
we
back.
do in 13th Age. For anyone who has not played, there are, as we have, Greg kind of mentioned, movers and shakers of the world are called icons. We have 7 in our world, and the way we kind of play this, which is a little different in the book, is at the beginning of each round, everyone rolls their relationship to their icons that they have either positive, negative, or conflicted relationships with, and if they get you can get successes or like degrees of successes, and we use those as kind of like story points that can help the players can invoke to navigate challenging circumstances, kind of like inspiration, but they have to be flavored to sort of an anchor in the world. 13th Age, second edition is going to come out, and they've promised to kind of revamp these rules, so we may change that if the rules seem really cool, but this is how we like to do it right now. And it looks like, Greg, you got a mix. What is that? A success?
Yeah, I got a
Well-
I got a mixed success with the.
You rolled mercenary twice.
Well, I have 2 rolls for it.
Yeah, but
because I
it
put
rolls
2
it
points.
twice automatically.
Oh, does it? Actually?
Yeah,
Okay.
it does.
Your
Never mind.
first your
yeah.
first roll was a 4 and a 1.
You hover over it.
Oh,
So
I
Greg-
see. I
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
notice that. Okay, so never mind. Nothing.
Never mind. And
You
Anthony,
get nothing.
you rolled 2 6s, huh?
Hell yeah, I did.
So it's two.
Starting
Wow.
off strong.
Way to burn
Yeah.
your crits at the
One with the Fallen
beginning. but yeah,
Empress. Wow, it's easier when they're 6s. One with the Fallen Empress, one with the Iridescent, who is leader of the changelings, the Baraga.
Yes.
Interesting. And that's a positive negative relationship. So yes, we'll see if those come up, but very cool. And you've all find yourself on this dock. Maybe like, there's a captain of the boat. Like, oh, that's the warehouse. I don't know why you'd want to be here. Hasn't been used very often.
Well, this is where
Thank-
this
Yeah.
is where we were summoned, so this is where we must go.
Oh, sounds like a prank to me. But there's
I-
a sucker born every day.
I'm used to it.
Thank you, citizen. Your concern is well noted, but we shall be fine.
Vea will hold up the letter she received, and she'll say,
I can't read. I just know how boats work.
the seal on this is magical and real, so I don't think this is any
I
kind
don't
of...
see a seal. I just see some funny looking lions. Seals bark. And yes, this is the energy I want to bring into a new campaign.
These funny-looking lines mean something, I promise.
Well, that's what they said about the alphabet, but I never trusted them. All right, bye. And he sails away.
Man, who's he? I want him around again.
Yeah,
I
me too.
like this energy.
We
Right.
need more of that
This
guy.
is this is the cabbage seller of
Yeah.
this campaign. I
It
like
was when I designed this map, or like, so I should say, I like to get a lot of my battle maps. This is from 2 Minute Tabletops, who are an excellent producer of maps. But I put the boat there. I was like, well, if they all came on the boat, that probably means someone had to staff the boat, and that means I'm gonna have to make up a character on the fly. And I just wanted to get out ahead of that and just inject some pure chaos into the.
It was excellent. Thank you.
Did
Perfect.
someone
thank
say chaos?
roll?
I'm gonna cast the spell.
Blood.
So, are you two also going to the thing? She kind of tries to gesture with her her platinum arm, and it doesn't work the way she intends it to.
I
Still
I
getting used to it.
believe so. Have we? What a coincidence that we've been on this boat together and have never talked about this or introduced ourselves. Hello, my name.
Well, in my defense, you both look weird.
In my defense, you look weird.
That
I've been hired for a
Racist.
job. Anything outside of that job is irrelevant to me. But hello, I'm Phalanx. Nice to meet you.
Phalanx, you sound very fun to be around.
I am, once you strip away the helmet. Yes, I should mention, Phalanx is in a full set of heavy armor, including a closed helmet. That is kind of got... We've described this world as mage punk, but it's kind of got like what looks like some like maybe gears in it, some like tubes in it. It looks very kind of intimidating, but also kind of cool. If you were
So
into
you're like every Soulsborne character where you put like an hour or two into the character creation, and then you put a helmet on and you don't see it the entire game.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, you know what? If it was Dark Souls 2, you might have jumped into a random coffin and then halfway through the game, when you took off your helmet, realized you changed genders. So that was
Is
just a
this
fun
what
thing.
happens?
In the intro to Dark Souls 2, there is a coffin that will just swap your character gender.
That's fun.
It's very fun. Great game. Great terrible game. Dark Souls 2. Yes. Anyway. And you find yourself on these docks. The waters lap the shore, and a warehouse sits idly north of you.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna go.
We may as well walk together. If we're going to the same place.
It's like Ernest is going to be the head of the marching order, right? So,
Elder, can I assist you in getting to the warehouse? Do you need me to help you cross these steps?
That would be very nice, but I can handle myself. I grew up in the mountains.
I did not ask. And I think Phalanx just like shifts the this giant hammer from like one shoulder to the other. You hear like the dock underneath him creak as the weight shifts, and then he starts lumbering towards the warehouse as well.
I did not ask to be a recurring
Very good.
character.
I think. I lost it. Never mind.
Yeah, okay. You march towards the building. You should be able to open the door. I programmatically have made a door.
I cannot see the door.
So if you go to the right of the
With
building,
magic?
you would notice that over this way would be the front of the building.
That's the right.
There's
You
a
see the
door.
Oh, I see the door icon. Yes.
Yes.
I'm gonna
Can you-
click on the door icon.
Should be able to open it.
Oh,
Sorry,
Yeah,
everyone.
I think
I went to the left.
Phalanx will walk in.
oh, that's what that was gonna be.
What?
I think as they're on the approach, Vea's gonna let Phalanx walk past her, and just kind of look up and say, "Boy, you do lumber, don't you?"
He towers too.
I think the lumber.
It comes with the territory. Damn it, Joe.
The lumber character was in our last 13th age campaign.
Yeah, there you go. It comes with the territory of being very large.
You enter into this warehouse, and it does seem pretty empty. It seems like this has been an overflow. There's maybe lost luggage or things that have kind of been like sat waiting to be shipped out for too long. It's in disarray. You see like odds and ends. There's like some art wrapped up. You see a statue in the middle of the room gathering dust. You look up and can tell there's a second level, and there's like a crane holding a large box. But it does seem relatively unused and undisturbed as the boatman had said.
Cute.
What are? Hello.
I'm not sure. Oh.
I'm just gonna yell out, "Hello! Anyone here?"
Hello there.
Hello there.
Hello.
Your voice echoes out pretty quietly. You hear a scurry from the second floor, but it could just be rats.
Did you
Is
guys?
it-
Did you all hear that?
You said there was a crane, Michael. Is it
Mhm.
like is the crane on like the roof, or is there a completely closed second floor?
I'll show you.
Okay.
I'll do this and go to map layer. This is what the second floor would look like.
Oh.
Man.
I'll
Oh,
move
cool.
it
Okay.
just so you can see. Basically, there's
Yeah.
a crane up there. Yeah. I'll just move it back up.
Fancy.
Maybe if I could if I could make a suggestion, maybe it is worth us double checking that all of our invitations are the same and that there are not any discrepancies in what we should expect. And I think they just like
Mhm.
he at least like takes out his invitation and it's
You
just
whip them
like,
out.
Here-
You
here you
measure
go.
them up.
I'm gonna find the latrine and I'm gonna open the store. Walk into this room.
So this is an off. The north door, not a latrine. It is a. There's a lot of shelves here. There's more loose individual items. A lot of unlabeled bottles. Most look like they have gone bad.
There's a tiny version of the map that we're in.
What do you mean?
Right here, I can see.
You could see a tiny map. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, that's not supposed to
Whoa.
be there.
It's an exact
Ernest-
duplicate of the second floor of this.
I wonder if it's on the token layer.
Ernest
Yes, it is.
now
shits
if we
on
were
the
playing a
desk.
video
No,
game,
there's not.
What'd you say,
Oh.
Anthony?
Ernest shits on the desk.
You know what? I don't like people making other characters choices, but for this one case, I'll let it roll.
I was gonna pee in a corner, but the shitting on the desk works too.
There is an empty jar if you really needed to relieve yourself.
He does. It's a long boat ride.
It's over the side of the lake, but nope. Into the jar.
No,
Into the saw.
it was a long walk.
yeah.
Can I make some kind of a check to see if anything looks suspicious or
Yeah.
out of place?
Yes, please. You can roll me a skill check. I just need to tell me what background would you are invoking for this.
Sure. I would probably use my see, my squad was called the Hush Blades,
Mhm.
and that would probably be where I would use my tracking or scouting skills.
All right, go ahead.
Ooh.
20.
Wow.
We are coming out of the gates hot.
So all of you have kind of walked into the middle of this room, and you have been eyeing things up and down, and almost like a preternatural sense. You kind of, as you stepped into this room, you feel an imperceptible to a layperson, imperceptible movement behind you, and you turn to see the statue, of course, in the middle of the room that has been gathering dust, has turned its head to look at you, and upon you making eye contact with it, it stands up more erect, and you see a figure into the room. I will now show you what this player looks like, or what this character looks like. And it is not just a statue, but an immaculate automaton that is word to life. And it looks at each one of you individually and says, hello, I must now engage with my introductory protocols. Prepare to fight. And it starts, you see, it's like it starts revving up its core, and we need to roll initiative.
Love
I
that.
think I get to do something before initiative, actually.
Well, you better tell me what it is, because I don't know.
Would love to. It is called Enhanced Reflexes. Oh, no, Are we surprised here?
I would say because of your really, really good perception roll, you're not surprised.
Okay.
I was
so
gonna
get
have
to
you
make
be surprised, but you're not.
I get to make a quick action before
Mhm.
initiative is resolved,
Okay.
and my quick action will just be to mark with sigil,
Okay. What does that mean?
and I will. The sword mage uses sigils. I will mark it with a sigil, which means that if the enemy attacks one of my compatriots instead of me, it gets to trigger the sigil that I'm using. I will choose sigil of shielding.
Cool.
And now I'll
This is
roll
pretty dope.
initiative. If you enjoyed me doing the extra turn shenanigans with my previous character, I get to do even more of it with this class.
Well, hey, that's whatever floats your boat.
That is a choice that I made.
We should note this is the
I'm
first time
glad
Anthony
that-
has played a sword melee focused
Wielder,
character
yeah.
in like years. I want to say
Ever?
ever.
Probably years, yeah. Well, that's the
I-
thing about playing Blades in the Dark is it brings out the opposite of what I usually play.
That's fair.
I was gonna say I've tried a couple of different types of characters in the last couple of years, and I'm glad that the one thing that is a constant is I always fucking suck at initiative rolls. That is just never. I just never roll well on initiative. I don't know what
I
it
even
is.
looked. This game doesn't have a feat for like improved initiative. You just you get what you get.
Hey, I'm
or you up
okay.
your decks.
I'm okay.
Oh, also when
Yeah.
we roll initiative, I draw my first spell,
Nice.
Oh yeah.
which is an icon spell. Because I have drawn a white dragon, so I roll a d6.
Nice.
Cool.
Oh yeah, Joe is mixing chaos magic with mahjong tiles, by the way. So
Oh
just
yes,
so you,
Surprising no one.
Just the dragons, because
it's Mazes and Mahjong, the classic game we all know and love.
wow.
so the icon I rolled is the Fallen Empress. So I can use spells from the Twisted Path.
Which
Of
of course we all know what that means. No,
Everyone
it's
knows
a
what
chaos
that means.
mage splits their spells. Man, you have 3 rolls. There's like iconic is one of them, and the iconics are also broken into
You-
multiple.
Yeah, you can
buckets
either
of
get
spells.
attack spells, defense spells, or iconic spells. Attack spells are self-explanatory. Defense spells are self-explanatory. If you draw an icon, you roll a separate die.
Is this every round?
Yes.
Holy shit! Okay,
No,
let's see how fast I have to kill your character.
it's after you cast the spell. So
Okay.
the next spell I cast has to be iconic, and it has to be from the Twisted Path. But if I never cast a spell, I'll never draw a new tile.
Cool.
Got it.
So first up in turn order is the automaton, and sizing up the big boy in front of it and the weak elderly man in front of him. He's gonna do a piston punch on the old man. He winds up his arm, it cocks into place, and then juts out with extreme prejudice. And I'm gonna see. I do not have a situational modifier. That is an unnatural 20 against your AC, Joe.
Yeah, that does hit me.
Okay.
That's gonna trigger
I'm
my
gonna
sigil.
Yeah. So
Oh
first
yeah,
up, the
you do your
sigil.
thing first.
He will take half damage from all attacks during this enemy's turn.
Cool. Greg, do you also want to do something?
I will wait because that thing happened.
Great.
So I
So
will not do it.
So when this winds up and punches, what does that look like as this negates the damage of this fist coming at his face?
Yeah. I think that like a rune mark appears like in made out of magic,
Mhm.
and it kind of like forms almost like a dome around Ernest's head and face. And when whatever the automaton attacks, like it seems like it absorbs some of the force.
You still get 4 damage, Joe.
All right.
Right in the dome.
Right in the damn dome.
Right in the
The damn
damn
Dimmadome.
dome, the Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome. And unfortunately, I did not roll a 16 plus when I would have gotten to do something more fun. So with that, it's gonna pass the turn to Joe's character, Ernest.
I don't really know. He's gonna hold up his hand, his arm that has kind of pieces of random mage tech fused with his skin. And he's gonna face away and cover his face as he holds up his arm. And the spell Evil Touch is gonna come out. So I roll
God, I love this already, man.
attack roll plus his charisma.
Okay.
Does a 17 hit his physical defense?
It's physical defense. Okay. It does.
Cool.
Double check. Make sure. He takes 11 negative energy damage.
Wow. Okay.
And I'm gonna draw my next tile. It's an attack spell. When I draw my attack spell, I roll on a different table.
Naturally.
This sounds exhausting to play.
I got a 4. So I gain a bonus to disengage checks until the end of my next turn, equal to my dexterity modifier.
Joe, how much of this campaign is going to be you explaining what you do?
A lot, unfortunately. No, it's pretty simple.
But you know what? All the time that Joe's gonna spend, I'm gonna save everybody because I'm just gonna hit things. Like it's really going to
It'll
be
balance
like,
out
fast.
I was
track. Yeah,
trying
exactly.
to not take things that required more rolls, and they don't exist. Every single thing you have to roll something for.
Yeah,
I love
it
this.
is it's a fun part of 13th Age. They make a lot of rolls. They make a lot of like things on evens and odds. There's some
in 13th Age, do you disengage when you move away, or is it an action that you take?
I believe it is an action to disengage so unlike because it's generally theater of the mind, you have engaged, near, far, and very far range bands, and so like he's engaged with you right now.
Yeah.
So Greg's character could actually walk away without getting attacked, but if you just ran, I think you'd have to you'd incur an attack of opportunity. I do believe there is a disengage. It might be a bonus action though. Let me just look it up really quick.
I think it's like one slot of the action economy. I don't remember how it's broken out though.
Some things let you pop free. Disengaging. So you can use a move action to move away from a foe that engages with you, but you will draw an opportunity attack from each of those enemies that are engaged with you when you do. To disengage without drawing an attack of opportunity, you roll a normal save, an 11 plus. So
That's
you
right.
attempt, basically, if you move away, you attempt to disengage. And if you do roll the flat check of 11 or higher, you disengage with the successful check. If there's more enemies, there's like a penalty, but there's only one, so it doesn't matter in this case. So yeah, if you want to roll away or get away without drawing an opportunity attack, you first roll a save, and then if you fail the save, you will incur an attack of opportunity, but you don't have to move away.
Sure. And I can just roll dexterity, right? Because that should be a d20 plus.
It's just no. It's actually a normal. So saves.
Well, but
are
I get to
flat
add.
checks.
But I get to add my dex modifier to this roll.
Oh, to a disengage check. Yes. Okay. Yes. So then you would in that case. Yeah.
17.
Easy. Yep. So you could get away without getting.
I'm gonna
without
go
an attack.
to the nearby range band.
Okay. There's a jar full of piss by you. Not your piss.
Weird.
Who pissed here? And it is going to be Atrevea's turn.
All right. I will make an attack. I'm going to use a spell. One of my combat spells. I'm going to use Keen Blade.
Cool.
So this is a special attack. I can use it once per battle, and I roll twice. if the target has a sigil placed on it, which it does. Plus my intelligence, which is a +3, plus my level. I'm attacking its AC.
Okay.
A 10.
I'll tell you what, a 10 does not hit that AC.
All right. Spell used. That was fun.
Burned.
On a miss, I'm going to deal damage equal to my level.
1.
So 1 damage.
Okay. Ow. It cries
Um,
out in pain.
Yeah. So what this looks like, I think, is that Vea has her sword in her prosthetic arm, and she's still seems like she's like getting used to it, and so it probably like glanced off of one of its plates or something.
Did you?
Just dinged it.
You try to hit it with? You have to move up to hit it with your sword.
Thought I was near.
Well, if you're near, you have to hit something physically with melee. You have to engage. So I would
Oh.
say you'd have to move within 5 feet.
I will do that then. Yep. Thank you.
Is Vea right?
Yep.
Does Vea's sword, like, is it built into her arm, like it comes out over her wrist, or is it held like a regular sword?
It's held like a regular sword. It's like fitted into the hand.
Okay. Just curious. I didn't know if it was like a gauntlet thing.
It's not attached
Sword arm.
to.
Predator blade.
Maybe someday.
Maybe. Phalanx, the hammer boy.
Bring us
up the
home,
rear.
Greg.
How dare you hit an old man? He takes the warhammer off of his shoulder. 2 arms swings at the construct in front of him. That's initiative. I did not mean to roll that.
Trying to move up in the order, huh?
That is a 23.
23 does hit.
It says unarmed. It shouldn't say unarmed because I rolled that as a melee. But
What's his base
whatever.
attack on? Oh, yeah, that is weird.
Oh, weird. Okay, well, whatever. 23. That is going to be 8 points of bludgeoning damage to the construct.
It screams in pain. No, I'm kidding. It doesn't scream. It doesn't seem to feel pain. In that sense.
I have an effect that I forgot about.
Uh-huh.
When I
classic.
rolled my warp, which is how I got the bonus to disengage, I also get to roll on the high weirdness table.
That's an amazing table name.
It is.
It's a good table too.
It's a good table.
It's a good table.
So I roll a D100. I got a 3. So I am hit by a pulsing wrinkle in time. I move and speak slower than normal. At the I now decrease my initiative by 2d6 to a minimum of 1.
You
Just
damn
remember,
robot! You've
you
given him a
chose this.
concussion.
So I'm gonna go down to 9 initiative, which is irrelevant.
That's so funny, though. Yeah, it doesn't change
That is
anything for you.
amazing.
I'm going to change it in the order because that's very funny. Oh, okay. I officially love this class. This is super
This
weird.
class is the best. I'm gonna roll
Amazing.
so many dice.
Greg, are you done punching my poor robot?
Yeah. I will. I guess because I'm still engaged, I'll just position Phalanx in direct line of sight, in front of Jethro.
Yeah, in the way in
Not
case
his
it
name.
tries to get past you. I get you.
Yeah.
Good point.
Ernest.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to say the
Is it-
escalation die becomes
Hell yeah.
1. Why can't I? Why is it not doing it? There. 1.
There it is.
Big red 1. The robot, reeling from this blow, turns to look at the clear threat of that is Phalanx. And the robot, you see, its ocular gem calibrates and looks at you and says, "Now identifying Phalanx, exiled mercenary," and wheels back to punch you.
Sounds like it knows you, big man.
I rolled a natural
I have
one.
never met this.
It
That will
is
not do.
this who sent the invitations?
With the natural one, he tries to punch you, and it bursts through a chest, or like that is there, and the chest seems to have been full of some weird, like basically like I want to say like a living jelly kind of thing, like an ochre jelly kind of thing. But it has long been ignored, so it's dead. But it just covers this robot in stickiness, and I'm gonna say that gives it a -2 to its next attack. And it will go to the Chaos Mage, even though he is slowed. Ernest Jeffrey.
So as he's like running away, he's gonna kind of like he's gonna be like moving his hands, and he's gonna kind of trip a little bit and go to catch himself. And as he does, a tentacle shoots out of his hand into the floor, and then pops up next to the robot and hits it.
Nice.
Incredible.
So again, a charisma. Escalation's 1.
Escalation's 1. +1.
There's a 16 hit physical defense.
Physical defense beats it. Does hit.
Nice.
So 1d10 plus 5. 11.
Wow. 11 points of tentacle
Can I
damage.
yeah, wait.
11 points
Why
of
is
force
your-
damage.
Why is the damage? Oh, you rolled a hunting knife. I see. What
Well,
you're saying.
I just rolled
Use that for
melee,
the-
but it's adding charisma plus level.
so it's the same attack. Yeah, I
Yeah.
get you. Cool. 11 points of damage of tentacle force damage.
Yes.
All right.
I'm gonna draw my next tile. It's defense. I have to roll on a different table.
While you're doing that,
Nope.
I will switch over to Vea Kvesh.
Whenever I heal, I get additional wisdom. I get to roll a d100 again. 70.
High weirdness.
My high weirdness becomes my features
lose
shift
s-
and settle into a temporary new pattern. I gain a random racial ability until the end of my next turn. Roll a d8.
That's wild.
I have the gnome's confounding racial ability.
I don't know what that means. It should be in the 13th age book, but
Yeah.
Once
I
once
think
per
while this is happening, Vea's gonna look over and be like, "What? What is happening?"
what is this old man?
Yeah, and then Felix is like, and you called me weird.
this is the best class I've ever played.
That was wrong with me. I will attempt to use my second combat spell available. I'm going to try to hit it with White Flame Blade. This is only 1d20. It's plus my intelligence plus my level against AC. Oh my god. I burned all my good rolls before the combat, you
did.
guys.
Hey,
I did
remember-
call it. I did
remember-
call
Remember, you can use those. We decided to make if you wanted to get like a inspiration, you could burn one of your icon rolls. Remember,
Yeah.
you just have to tell me how it like. Give me a little flavor of how this some interaction or some history you have with this icon influences this.
Yeah, I think that this automaton, I am going to do that. It might remind me of some of the elves' technology from the old world.
The old country.
Nope, the whole damn world. And invoke my positive relationship with the fallen empress.
Cool. Yeah. Roll me another
Alright.
D20.
Love to.
Oh, that's
There
much
it
better.
is.
That's a natural 20.
Uncritical.
Uncritical.
Okay, so I'm gonna deal weapon damage plus intelligence plus a d6 fire.
And you'll do double damage with your crit, I believe.
Okay, so you want me to just roll the damage
Just
as
roll it, we'll double it, yeah.
Okay.
And sorry, what spell is this?
This is called White Flame Blade.
Mm.
Okay, so I am rolling a d8 for my weapon, plus 3 for my intelligence, plus 1d6 fire damage. Right? My intelligence modifier is plus 3. Neat. That is, so it's going to be 14, 17, 19 total damage.
19 total damage. Wow. Before
Yeah.
doubling? No,
After.
that is double. Okay, I was like, wait a minute. 19 damage.
God
Very
dang.
cool. God damn. Cool.
She looks a lot happier after that one.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty good. Some of the automaton's features are like you see like an antenna kind of melt under the heat of this power, but it's still up and kicking.
Great.
Phalanx, you're up.
Yeah. I am going to use my Smite Evil talent. And the way that I am visualizing this, because of the association that Phalanx has with the Just Mercenary, is so basically I'm equating faith to duty in this case. So the religious fervor in this case is a fervor for the order in which they are placed, and specifically their kind of obligation to their order. So I think Phalanx, you kind of see the core of the giant warhammer glow with this kind of like golden like ball of light that starts to radiate around it, and Phalanx says, anything stopping me from getting to my objective is a problem that must be dealt with. and I think steps like kind of like a plugs the head of the hammer into the ground, flips up onto the handle, and then flips over it to try to smash the construct.
Finish it.
I'm reading that Smite Evil does it. It's like it's pretty rad in this. You just get out a
Yeah, and
1d12
you get half damage
and half damage, even half damage to your attack roll plus 1d12. You still do half damage if you miss. That's
Right.
pretty insane.
Yeah. Okay, it's only 12 versus AC.
So you are gonna miss.
Yeah, but I'll do half damage. I guess rounded down, right?
Yeah.
Oh, add 1d12 and then
Yeah. So you have you rolled 13. Roll a 1d12.
Yeah.
Christ. So
Yeah, so it's 20,
still
so it's
doing
half, so 10.
10 damage. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I think the way that looks is like I miss the construct, but I shatter the ground next to it, and like the explosion of like rocks and stuff from the ground like pelts the construct.
Yeah. It is looking battered as the contract comes back up. And its head, while it is facing Phalanx, you just see its head swivel 360, or sorry, it would be 180, not 360, and looks at Vea and says, Atravea Kavesh, identified. And the hand turns back and punches at you. And I said a -2, so I'm going to do that. Does an 18 hit your defense?
Just which defense?
Oh, sorry, AC.
Yes.
It hits you.
So
Mhm.
I'm going to use my Bastion ability. Once per battle, when a nearby ally is hit by an attack, you can choose to lose hit points equal to half of that damage, and your ally takes only half of the damage instead. The damage you lose can come from temporary hit points, blah, 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 blah.
Cool.
So
Sick.
I think
That's super cool.
I think what you see is like anime style, like it cuts to my feet, the feet disappear in a cloud of like dust, and then like the black lines of someone hyper speeding into space appears like in front of Vea, and like half of it clips his pauldron, and then half of it clips Vea. So instead of taking however much damage it is, you'll take half and I'll take half.
That's awesome.
Well, it's 8 damage, so you both take 4.
All right.
But as you do that, you see the automaton's vents kind of all open, and you see the magical energy that's powering it flares and discharges. And I'm going to roll first a d6.
Whoa.
Okay, and I'm going to roll another one. Perfect. So I, with this roll, 2 enemies are going to be hit by the discharge of energy, and the energy takes the magically. You see, it's like a pure raw energy inside it, and it takes the form of ice. Just in case either you have ice resistance, which I don't think you do. And it is going to do 5 damage to each of you, 5 ice damage. In this blast radius.
Okay.
Just a question.
Yes.
Does that have anything? There's nothing I can do from like a save perspective, right? It just happens.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have to still roll the damage or the attack itself, which is going to
Yeah,
be
that's what I was asking.
against your physical defense.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. I was
I
just double
rolled
checking.
a 20. So does that hit
That
your
does
physical?
hit. Yeah.
That'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Wow.
so both
5.
of you,
Yeah.
get 5 damage. Ice. And as the smoke starts clearing, the automaton stands up and says, "Identities confirmed. Disengaging introductory protocols. Hello, I am Zek. Pleasure to meet you all."
I kind of want to smash it, but
You can.
but I
You
won't.
can.
I won't.
Can I use my queued up spell?
Hell yeah.
Who has higher hit dice and who wants body horror?
Greg has higher hit dice.
I have higher hit dice. I do not want body horror.
Greg, you can use a recovery right now for free. I'm casting warped healing.
You can.
Okay.
Anthony,
Yeah.
your character gains 10 temporary hit points.
Okay.
And a tentacle that comes out of your back and wraps around your body to absorb 10 temporary hit points.
She looks down and she says, "What the fuck did you just do to me?"
What? I don't think that was me.
Zach,
Honestly,
confirmed. That was Ernest Jethro, Chaos Mage.
But don't you feel healthier?
No.
You look great.
You should see a doctor.
I would
this is
love
some
to.
old man remedy shit. Oh, I think I've heard of this. This is a fisherman's friend. Is that right?
Sure.
That is a sex position.
Is that like a sex thing? Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought.
No, it's the lozenge. The lozenge for when you have a cold.
Oh, Oh, man.
You guys are disgusting. So I think Phalanx like still has the hammer out, but is looking at this now, I guess, disengaged construct and says, "Construct, am I correct in assuming I should no longer be fighting you?"
I have disengaged my introductory protocols. I am no longer attempting to identify or confirm your identity. So, combat
this
is
a
no longer
ruse?
required. Negative. I am incapable of ruses.
I believe you.
I could tell, yeah.
And I think he like plops the hammer down and turns to the others and says, "We are safe. Except for you, you have a tentacle coming out of your back. That's gross."
I wish I didn't. I hate this.
I apologize for this. Tall Cinder sent me here to ascertain your identities. Tall Cinder is very paranoid, or should I say, was paranoid, for he passed away this past week. You have all been invited to the funeral and the reading of the will.
What?
Now, hang on a minute.
Zek starts immediately saying the exact same sentence again.
Repeating it.
Yeah, repeating it exactly.
Can I roll a background check?
Yes.
I would like to roll old man history.
Yeah, that's yep.
Oh hell yeah,
Okay.
brother!
I want to know
Back
if-
in my day, the back in my day role.
exactly. What this would probably be intelligence.
Sounds like it. I don't know what you're trying to. What are you trying to?
I want to
learn?
know who this guy is. And
Tall Cinder or Zach?
Tall Cinder.
Okay. Yep.
And why
Okay.
I would be in his will. He's trying to remember.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
16 on old man history check.
Yeah. I will say I don't think any of you have ever met Tall Cinder. Tall Cinder is a renowned character. Bards sing songs and tell tales of him. He is a wizard that is known for predicting the future. Like this guy is a big deal. He's lived in Drux Landing for a long time. I think it's like kind of hard to say when. Like the wizarding type kind of get around. He Tall Cinder with a 16, you would know that you would know a lot of stories about him. Maybe like he instructed a town to like give up an entire field of their harvest to grow a specific herb, and the next year there was a plague that that herb was the remedy for, or he told a town to build walls in strange places and a flood was diverted by them. Like this guy like has a weird presence, seems very well intentioned. But there's also some less savory stories, that you've heard maybe in taverns and bars of I think there's a tragic song of Tall Cinder convincing a man to go to war, saying he'd get great glory, and he died saving his platoon. But that helped them win the battle, kind of thing. Like this guy is known for his predictions, and he's summoned you all, it seems, but also seems to have died.
When is the funeral?
The funeral will be held this evening.
Where is the funeral?
At the residence of Tall Cinder. I can take you there.
What is the funeral?
A funeral is a death rite in which one person is remembered and their will is executed.
Please tell me if this is a dumb question.
It is a dumb question.
What is a funeral? I was just kidding.
Sorry, I knew what you were going to say, and so I thought I would just save us time.
If the purpose was to identify who we are, why set up an elaborate ruse to fight us in the
I am
first
incapable of ruses. However, Tall Cinder is aware that there are people who may be impersonating others in this world, and it is imperative to confirm that you are all who you say you were. I had to collect a sample of your DNA, which I don't know why we would know what that is in this world, but here we go. I had a sample of your body
Dungeons
and soul.
and Dragons.
Dungeons and mitochondria. So apologies for my assertive taking of samples.
I also have a question.
Yes, it is a dumb one. Sorry, that was a reflex. My sensors are damaged.
Is Tall his first name or is it a title?
Tall is his first name.
His first name is Tall.
Tal, Tall.
How tall was he?
Tall Cinder was well known for his height at 6'4".
Interesting.
Updating the spelling in my notes.
Yeah, so I think Phalanx turns to the other two and says, "So, how would Cinder know either of you?"
I don't know. I've never met this man in my life.
I've never even been to Drux Landing. I don't know him.
Neither do I. This seems very strange. Construct, how does Cinder know us?
Cinder knows many things. Cinder can foresee the future. It is possible that you are people of interest in one of his predictions.
I will admit I have forgotten that he was a seer. This is something that I probably should have remembered.
It
I
was
will
did
his,
say
commit
it
this to
moments
it was
ago.
his defining characteristic that was just said moments ago.
You will find that this is going to be a recurring dynamic in this group.
I didn't ask.
Well, I've got nowhere to be, so yeah, take us to Cinder's estate.
Is this
What?
a formal gathering? I didn't bring any other robes. I
And
dribbled,
I didn't
I
bring
dribbled
robes that
piss
cover
on
my
this one.
tentacle.
Yeah, so I want to stop and ask, how long is this tentacle gonna last, Joe?
Yeah.
Until the temporary hit points go away.
So basically, you could have someone cut it off, fundamentally.
You could have someone cut it off. I think it can be whatever I want, so I could change it. Do you want an eye on your shoulder instead?
Yeah, that's less conspicuous.
I think maybe the tentacle will like shrink.
Can you
And
just
then-
grow another arm and just break Anthony's character?
Only as
Yeah, like
long
like
as
Godric the Grafted. You can have two arms holding
Yeah.
your sword.
I can
Yeah,
give
it would be
someone.
it would be like both coming out of the same area. Yeah,
Same
that
shoulder,
would be
yeah.
very
It says-
disturbing.
One target heals instantly using recovery. The other target gains 10 temporary hit points and grows a strange eye, limb, or other physical feature that lasts as long as the temporary hit points.
Yeah, give me a Kozilek eye on my shoulder.
Yeah, you get the tentacle will shrink inside your body and move up to
Oh.
your shoulder and open like an eye.
Upsetting.
Can I ask that you maybe don't cast magic on me without my permission?
Consent is important.
Yeah, what he said.
I would love to make that happen. I don't really know how to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I studied at the New Trellisaire Academy for 25 years, and I have no idea what the fuck you're doing.
Have you ever seen
Well, wait, what you said the what academy?
New Trellisaire?
the Nutella Serre? That's one of them elven schools, right?
Yeah, yes it is.
Do you know anything about let's say, what is the word I'm looking for? Like like magic attunement gauntlets that maybe they had produced.
You can see it visibly on your forearm, right? What you're
Yeah,
talking about?
it's well in my forearm.
Mhm.
Let me roll a background.
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll Trellisaire Heritage.
Mhm.
Any situational modifiers, Michael?
Yeah, I'd say a -2, honestly.
All right.
Oh, really? I did in my head like the gauntlet wasn't like super uncommon, but maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know what your lore is.
I don't think this is necessary. I think you have like an experimental item welded to your forearm right
Fair.
now.
That's still a 20.
Yeah. I think you know that in the war against the Moraga, there have been a lot of experiments and developments with technology. You would know that technology fusing with people is not uncommon. You yourself obviously have a prosthetic, so that having an item grafted to you is maybe common and is also useful in when you have enmity with groups that can change their shape, change their face. They can't necessarily proxy a magical item, right? So if something is part of your being, it may actually add to your credibility. So all of this thing tracks. You just have never seen something that does this wild shit. It could be that it's malfunctioning.
She will approach you, Ernest, and take a look at the parts of the gauntlet that are visible on your forearms. And she'll say, "Huh? Never seen it before."
Well, interesting. I found it in the woods and I put it on. And I,
That sounds like a great idea.
It sounds like exactly what an old hunter
Would do.
wandering around finding a pretty gauntlet. Be like, yeah, I'm gonna put this on. Why not?
Well, you see, I lost my gloves in the river, and my hand was
course.
cold.
You can't
Anyway,
argue with that
Tall
logic.
Cinder's estate.
Yes, Tall Cinder's estate is in the city, in the nearby area. I can take you there if you'll follow me.
Please do.
And you all, assuming there's no more, Zek starts leading you out. You pass into the city from the docks. You see, of course, there is a lot of shops and stalls. There is a seller who is selling, of course, the lucky druck nuts for your wagons on the street.
Excellent. Yeah, Phalanx absolutely buys a pair and puts it on his hammer.
Excellent.
Like
Oh,
hanging.
druck nuts on the hammer is too good. Oh, that's amazing. And we make our way to the home of Tall Cinder.
Druck nuts roasting on an open fire.
So this
Yeah,
Pyre.
sorry,
this,
pie.
an open pyre. So in Druck's Landing, there are, ignore kind of like the mountainous ones in the background. It is a like large settlement. There are big city or town towers. There's no house quite like Tall Cinders. Clearly, it's like it was part shop. There is a strange spaces. It doesn't really fit the aesthetic of the surrounding place. It's clearly as eccentric as its owner. You make your way there and enter inside, and are welcomed by Zek into the drawing room. I will show you all the study. I assume you can see this study.
Yep.
And in it, of course, there is a coffin with a dead, seems to be a dead wizard in it. And you can see poor Tall Cinder dead in this ornamental coffin.
Wow, he kind of looks a lot like me.
It seems that Adobe Firefly can only make one kind of old man, no matter what you put into the prompt.
And it's very old.
Very old, very white man. So here we are.
Can I make some sort of a check to make sure he's really dead?
Yes, please tell me if does a background fit this or.
Probably Hushblade again.
Okay, I'd say that's
where I
a
would deal with
wisdom
dead
roll,
people.
or you could intelligence or wisdom. I'd say either one.
26.
Man looks very dead.
He's probably dead.
Yeah, I would say probably dead.
How about that?
How about that? There are other people milling about this room. You see, is a what appears to be like a gnomish scholar. Has a tome reading in the corner. There is a human. Appears to be a bard, decorated in many frivolous layers of clothing, bright colors. There is an orc, a full orc, with bifocals and like rolled up sleeves. Clearly, someone who works the earth. There's a 12-year-old human girl just hanging out. Seems very confused as to the place, and then some other folks, perhaps of less interest. You're milling about. Zek seems to be preparing to initiate the funeral. If you'd like to make any small talk.
Did we ask Zek before we left the warehouse how Cinder died? I don't remember.
You did not.
No.
Would you like to ask?
Yeah.
Tall Cinder. Mhm.
Yeah, I'll before he starts like making a big speech and everything, I'll sidle up to him and ask, say, before any of the big presentation,
Yes,
how did
I
you
have a
die?
PowerPoint.
Excellent. I love an automaton who's prepared. How did Cinder die?
Tall Cinder has been aware of their death for perhaps their entire life. Tall Cinder stared at the new moon and was struck dead on the spot. Perhaps a heart attack. It is difficult to ascertain. It was foretold, I was told, by Tall Cinder himself. I would assume natural causes, but then again, if it is of magical origin, perhaps it is not natural. What is nature in a world of magic?
That is a very interesting philosophical point that you bring up. What is natural in a world of magic? Is
Hell if I know.
magic natural?
Am I alive? I've asked many times, and Tall Cinder refused to tell me. Do I have a soul?
Oh
Please help.
God.
Oh God, please help. What happens when I die?
I'm gonna need less from you right now.
I do
You're right.
think
I have a job to do.
Ernest is gonna kind of sidle up to like another group of people
Mhm.
who are there, and
Yeah, I say the gnomish scholar you settle up to.
yeah,
Try to establish an alibi.
Terrible. Terrible thing that. How did you know, Mr. Cinder?
Oh, yes, it is a tragedy. The gnome squeaks up. I was perhaps as close as one could be. Of course, you may know me, Professor Barnaby Bubblekin. I teach at the local university, and I co-wrote several papers with Tall Cinder.
I'm gonna
30
roll.
years
I'm gonna
ago.
roll old man history to
Mhm.
see if I know this guy.
So we worked on the star charts together. He was brilliant. He knew exactly where all the stars would be with the 24. God, here's the thing. Like, yes, you rolled well enough to know about this, but what would an old fucking hunter? I mean, I guess here's the thing. Yes,
So here's the thing.
star charts are
All
important for you.
old people know each other.
It's true.
So
Hmm.
he's gonna.
Sorry, what did you say your name was again?
Barnaby Bubblekin.
Oh, Barnaby. Do you remember? I believe you came out to my hunting lodge once. My
Oh,
Ernest
with Ernest-
Jethro?
The Ernest Inn.
Yes, that's my establishment.
Oh, you brought us out into the woods, and we watched the meteor shower over that glen.
Yes,
together.
and your friend bagged that large turkey.
Oh, yes. As another gnome, it was quite a feat because the turkey was larger than her.
Yeah.
It was truly a sight.
You may not have recognized me due to my slightly more gnomish features right now.
I was about to say, I felt very warm to you because you're so gnomish. I feel like you know me.
I know you.
Know
if you
me.
will.
You know me.
Terrible.
I think while this conversation is happening, Felix says kind of loudly, but kind of to himself, "I'm tired of all these old men," and then goes and stands next to the 12-year-old girl and says, "Hello. You seem like the only other normal person here."
I like that the other orc, you're just like, fuck this guy.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
The girl's
not.
like, yeah, I don't know. I got a letter. I've never been here. I don't know this guy, but he said there was something about my mom that I had to come see him about.
Well, I'm sure you're somebody very important. Otherwise, you would not have been invited here. It's nice to meet you. I'm Felix.
It's nice to meet you too. My name's Ash Short.
Seems apt. You get that a lot?
I don't know. I am small, I guess. That's what all the kids bully me about. But I mean, sure, if you wanted to, as an adult, that's cool.
I have no use for bullying. I would just smash people with this hammer.
Oh, man, I wish I could do that at school.
If you become an exiled like me, you can also learn to take revenge upon your tormentors.
Do I have to like leave town?
No, you can come back after compulsory training and survival training and all of the other rigorous military aspects. But after that, yeah, of course. Of course you.
You see her mulling it over. Do I get a hammer?
Absolutely, you get it.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I think he's just making friends.
Yeah.
With her chatting.
Anthony, would you like to talk to a random stranger
Absolutely. Well, yes and no.
Oh.
Vea will kind of like wherever the bard is,
as well? Oh, yes.
she will like stand next to him
Mhm.
and like
To
just
her,
kinda,
actually.
stand next to her and just kind of like turn her head toward her and
Mhm.
just raise her eyebrows. No words.
She has a smile on her face. The bards, they can't help but talk. She goes, yes, it's quite something, isn't it? I never thought it would see the day when Tall Cinder kicked the bucket. Of course, you know me, I'm sure. And she doesn't offer her name.
Of course. You sound almost happy.
Well, I just Tall Cinder. It is a tragedy, but I have of course written 3 volumes. The tallest tales on all of Tall Cinder's exploits. And the thing about Tall Cinder passing is there's gonna be stories from this, and it's just gonna keep feeding that art. That's what I'm about, the art, right? So I've even right now, you see she's got like a notebook. Like I'm just there's things coming to me. I'm writing them down. This is just going to be another Song of the Ages, the death of Tall Cinder. I tell you, this is going to be my next great.
Okay.
Yes, everyone will know the name Goose Tarvik across the lands.
Goose Tarvik. I love that. That's very good.
Excellent.
Cool. And yeah, if you guys are ready to begin the
Yeah.
funeral, or okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So you
Are
see,
you definitely prepared?
of course I do. Zek begins the PowerPoint. There's of course a slideshow set to "I will remember you." No,
I thought it was
actually
gonna be I thought it was gonna be that Green Day song.
something unpredictable. But in the
Yeah.
end, it's right. I hope you had the
That's all
time
you can
of
do
your...
online.
Right. Can't get us struck down. Oh, man, copyright. No, actually, Zek has gotten all this stuff prepared. You're actually not sure why it took Zek so long because it's a very short piece of paper. He goes, hello, everyone. I am Zek. I will be running the funeral as Tall Cinder's wishes were, and I have been asked to read you all this brief statement before we get on to the executing of the will. The letter from Tall Cinder states, and the voice kind of like actually starts synthesizing like an old man's voice. He goes, thank you all for coming. I apologize I couldn't greet you in person, but please heed my gifts and know that you carry the terrible burden of history, as I have for countless moons myself. I rest now. It is up to you. I shan't spoil the ending. Tall Cinder. That is the last request I had from Tall Cinder. Now I will execute the will. If you will all line up, I will bequeath upon you the gifts of Tall Cinder. You all get in line. I'd say the people who have been waiting there longer queue up before you. You see that, of course, Barnaby Bubblekin receives a sextant and giggles and opens it up to reveal a map. It's a map to the best viewing of the next meteor shower. Tall Cinder knows me too well. Goose Tarvik lines up.
Wait, it didn't even take him 10 episodes to open a sextant?
It's common knowledge.
Right on track. Come on, Joe.
Right on track. Goose Tarvik lines up and actually receives notes. And is a little crestfallen. It's literally just like a tome of just like dense. Oh, good. Material for accuracy. I will definitely read these. All of them. And kind of crestfallenly walks back. She's not going to read them.
He really got her goose.
Never speak to me again.
So the large... I'd rather have a tentacle than hear that joke. So the orc with bifocals steps up and goes, yes, to Hamarek Hamhock Hockney. Here you have been given this plant feed. And it is a bunch of like a crate full of potions. Goes, this will go great at the nursery. And you can kind of intuit that Old Hamhock here helped grow a lot of rare plants for Tall Cinder's research. So this is kind of supporting the business. And of course, Ash Short shows up and looks very sheepishly. And Zek, you see, actually goes, yes, this is from Tall Cinder himself, and goes over to the corpse of Tall Cinder and pulls off a ring and hands it to the girl and says, please, Tall Cinder has instructed me that you must give this to your mother. Ask her to wear it. She must wear it for at least a fortnight. It is of the utmost importance. And the baffled child takes it, pockets it, and nods, and runs off.
It's how she'll receive a victory royale.
Now, I guess people muddle through the less important folk, and you all get up and turns. Thank you all for waiting so patiently. I must regret to inform you that the gifts that were to be bestowed upon you are all currently in the safekeeping of a Captain Gellin at the nearby Fort Valornin on the north side of the lake. I believe you are aware of certain magical items, and right now is when I would like to ask you all, what is the magical item of your dreams that I asked you to write down? The one that would solve all of your problems. What is the item that you're most in dreaming of, or that you wrote in your character sheets? What would be the thing to hear right now that it would make your character, feel like maybe like their tickets come in?
So I made a short list.
You
instead of
did.
just one.
And you gotta pick
It
one.
doesn't the top one on my list doesn't seem feasible because it's more of like a
Mhm.
large structure
Mhm.
kind of thing.
If it's a structure, it could be something like a map to something, to be fair.
Sure. Yes. Okay, I'll go with that then. It would
Okay.
be the location of the this plane's wellspring of magic.
Okay.
The,
Yes,
the font of Caenis.
Of course, the map, the path to the wellspring, is in the safekeeping of Captain Gellin. And Phalanx, you have made. There's something you desire as well, I believe.
Yeah. So what I identified was the Hammer of Rekna. What I said is that it was a mythological, magical hammer that, according to legend, was the first tool given to the people of Canis by the god Rekna. Canis by the god Rekna, and was used to build the first settlement in the tundra that became Reknus. Its wielder grants magical power of creation and destruction, but it cannot be used as a weapon. It cannot harm. It can only. Its purpose is only a function of building and shaping the world.
Sick. Yes. I think in your case, it's like yes, the hammer of Rekna is in the safekeeping of Captain Gellin at Fort Valornin.
You hear a giant thud as I drop my warhammer to the floor in shock.
It cracks.
Like
Floor. We're on the second floor. It almost bursts into the floor below.
Yeah, exactly.
And now, Joe, I know you did not have as much time for this.
I know.
What is something that would
I'm so
really change-
tempted to say like a tea kettle that heats up on its own and always has hot water in it. But I think I'm gonna go for something more I mean, all of his magic is like chaos based. So something to perhaps draw on like natural luck. And be able to control his magic just a little bit more.
Okay.
Like a lucky rabbit's foot or something.
I'm just right.
Now this rabbit's foot came from a bard who was well known in these parts for being.
Not just a bard, a rogue too.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah,
I just got that.
Yeah.
I wanted like a cool name for it though. So like the So if you have chaos, it's like maybe like
It could be a focus too, like like a magnifying glass or something.
I want to say like the orb of order kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like a magical focus that draws upon like balance of the lands
Orbder.
or something. The Herber.
Orbder.
Herbder. Ponder the Herbder.
Herbder.
Ponder is the name of the orb.
Ponder the Herbder.
Ponder the orb.
Ponder the orb.
Path of the Listening. Okay. Yes. There is one request that Tall Cinder has for you, and that is to please, as you exit, lock up the house, and hands you a key.
Ooh.
Mm.
Well, we can't give it to the old man because he'll forget it. So surely one of us should grab it.
Sorry, the
Or
key
he
is
might
given
phase
to
it
us
out of
three
existence.
specifically to
Mhm.
lock up.
Yes. The others have milled out at this point.
This
Are we locking you inside, Zek?
Yes, I am caretaker of the house. I will remain here.
does this mean we have received the house as well?
The house belongs to Tall Cinder. Tall Cinder's legal affairs are in order, and the house is paid and will remain in Tall Cinder's name. As long as I continue to function, the house shall remain in Tall Cinder's name.
Can we come stay here if we're in the city?
You have the
Time
key to
to
the house.
visit- Time to visit a legal office.
You have the key to the house. You will be
Objection!
permitted to re-enter the house.
Excellent. Party time! Phalanx, go down and pick up a couple kegs.
Initiating introductory protocols. Starts punching you in the face. No.
Cool. Yeah, I think. Do you want to take the key, Anthony, or I mean Joe?
I'll take
I
it.
have no-
Yeah.
You take the key.
Cool. So just as a reminder, it was Captain Gellin on Fort Verlornen.
Lornan. It's Lake Lornan. Lornan is the obviously it's named for the lake.
Cool.
You
was
you
there
would
an
know
indication
it is commonly known. It is a defensive fort on the north side of the lake. It's probably a 2 to 3 day journey on foot.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. I mean, do we have any other? Do we head out now? Do we head out in the morning? What are we feeling?
It is evening, so you are welcome to stay here if you would like to spend the night. But please, again, lock up in the morning.
I do think we should stay the night. I'm
Agreed.
these old bones. It's long past my bedtime. The sun is almost down.
It's 7:30 at night.
I ate dinner 4 hours ago.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down for us to stay overnight. Why not?
Okay. Yeah, get a long rest. You guys can all heal up. I think you each get a room in the house. I would like you to describe a guest bedroom in a wizard's house. What does your room look like? Because they gotta be weird.
Ooh.
And is there anything like you like with your character like getting ready for bed or anything that like something
Yeah.
I don't know personal?
I think the room that because he grew up on a tundra, and also because he's kind of like a natural protector, he chooses a ground floor room. But when he opens the door, it's been magically altered to look like you're in the middle of a lush forest. So there's just like it looks like there's a door in space, and you can't tell if it's like you're literally transported to a forest somewhere, or whether it's just like the optics of the room make it look like you have a forest clearing around you. But I think he's like in a bed of leaves laid up against a tree with like a campfire, and like looking up, it's like stars. So it literally feels like you're outside.
Mhm.
And the only indication that you're not is that there's a door. And I think you finally see the helmet come off, and you've got
Adrian
this
Scout.
like you've got this half he takes it off in after battles and stuff, but like he usually is donning his armor, so you takes off his armor, takes off his helmet, and you see a half orc who's got this like long blonde hair tied up, and these like blue eyes, and then what you notice is that he has these two tusks that are coming out, obviously of like the lower jaw, but the right one is shaved to like 3/4 of the way down. There's kind of like a shaved tusk on one side and a full tusk on the other side.
I'm looking for an orc in finance. 6'5", blue eyes.
Yeah, good with a hammer.
Good
Has
with a hammer.
struck nuts on it.
I love that you put them on the fucking hammer. That's so.
Where else was I gonna?
I literally just wrote a note that it said truck nuts, and I was like, "That's got to come up somewhere." And I love that. That'll
Congratulations,
stick with it.
you've played yourself.
Nope,
Yeah.
that's what I wanted. I got what I wanted the whole time. No, I love that. Okay.
Joe, you want to go?
Yeah, I think the room that Ernest picks, when you first open it, it looks like a totally normal bedroom. But once you like lay down in bed and extinguish the like bedside candle, the entire room turns like a black void. Completely devoid of light, and only like
You've heard of blackout curtains.
yeah, it's only like a pleasant white noise that plays in the background.
Like, holy shit, I could get used to this.
Yeah. And the bed is always
It's the old
exactly
man
as
room.
comfortable as you want it to be.
He's got a sleep number.
This
I love that.
podcast brought to you by
Nope.
Helix Sleep. Great.
Vea doesn't
Uh-oh.
really mind where she sleeps, so she's just gonna walk in the first room that catches her eye.
It's the kitchen.
And it's not the kitchen. It's a bedroom, but it appears to be a bedroom, and inside I think is just this incredibly expansive Escher-esque complex of stairs and platforms. And so she ends up sleeping on like a bed that's on a platform that would really be like technically on the ceiling if gravity meant anything in this room.
Yeah, I love that. I imagine that room's like there's like you have a bookshelf and it's like half the bookshelf is normal and half the bookshelf is like the other like oriented for if you're on the ceiling kind of thing.
Bookshelf with a big right angle in the middle of
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Cool. Yeah, you all sleep. In the morning, you go down. Zach has made breakfast for you all. It is a very like kind of simple breakfast. There's eggs, breads, some like meats and cheeses. Zach seems to be you had done battle. Zach was dented. Zach was maybe a little melted. Seems 100% now. So perhaps repaired themselves during the night, or perhaps magically. It's unclear. Good morning, adventurers. I hope you have a pleasant day.
Ernest like noticeably perks up when referred to as an adventurer. kind of
Cute.
yeah.
Felix goes up to Zek and puts a hand on its shoulder. Does it have a shoulder? Is it humanoid?
Shoulders. It's humanoid.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and just clasps and says, "Brother, I'm sorry for having demolished you yesterday. I hope you were able to rest in adequate amount, as it seems you fixed yourself."
I require no rest. Yes, I am well repaired. Thank you. It seems you have also repaired yourself. I am also apologize for punching you in the face.
All is forgiven. No problem. I am hungry. And he settles down to eat whatever has been prepared that morning.
Yeah.
With gusto.
I would say it's a very good meal. Zach knows their shit.
Hell yeah.
A hearty breakfast. You know what? I'll say you guys get five temporary hit points.
Wow,
Which is
a
a nice-
whole third of
Whoa.
my health.
I'm up to 15.
Man, that I was gonna say that high is never gonna disappear.
Just keep feeding me temporary hit points.
Yeah, it's the curse.
Truly, you have been cursed.
You've been cursed.
Good cheers.
Yeah, I think unless you all wanted to do anything, I think. Did you guys want to check out the house at all, or like see anything, or are we ready to?
So
No,
yeah,
this-
you guys would poke around the house a little bit, probably like settling in. Again, the kitchen is expansive. What strikes you is like the kitchen's weird in the sense it's like there's like 4 ovens, but clearly like 3 of them are actually not for food; they're for like weird experiments. There is like a laboratory. There's a lot of like alchemical things. There's dried herbs. You exploring the house. There's nothing. That strikes you as like a legendary like item. It's for a wizard, pretty Spartan, pretty much like things you could get. And you also know that like as far as the magic that Tall Cinder was concerned with, like a lot of this tracks, right? It's like it's things that Tall Cinder dedicated their life to like helping normal communities, and a lot of that was like what tools would help avert this that are available, right? It's not like Tall Cinder was not going on like crazy expeditions. There's no like super rare artifacts. But it's a very well kept house. Obviously, like Tall Cinder was valued, sold herbs, remedies, things out. And the thing is when you know people's futures, real easy upsell. So, did very well for themselves in financially. So it's just a really beautiful, well maintained house, a lot of quirks. It's one of those things where like every time you walk into a room, you notice something new, or even if it's like a new door that you might not have noticed. Like the house shifts, the house reveals more as you go. But it's more just a novelty right now for you.
Still slept in a house with a dead body.
Yes, the coffin is closed, I will say.
That's good.
Hmm.
I think over breakfast, Vea will make the comment. That was a nice funeral service. And she'll look at Ernest. Any thoughts?
I took some notes. I've got taken some ideas for long in the future. When I mine's
You
been,
see, Zach looks at you, calculating.
please don't.
How old are you, Ernest? If you don't mind me asking.
Oh, let me think.
What year is
83.
it?
Oh, okay.
Wait, is it a leap year this year?
Does it matter?
I'm 82.
Of course.
Like every time it's asked, it's this is 1 year younger.
Yeah.
I'm 81.
I'm 36. How long have you been
Yeesh.
36?
55 years.
Yeah. Do you guys leave the house? You guys set off
Yeah.
towards Fort Verlornan?
Yeah, I think so. We lock
Yeah.
up.
Okay. Who's got the key?
I have the key.
Okay, so you lock the door.
Yep.
You step out. Zach gives you a wave and a nod. You close the door and you lock it. The ground around you begins to shake as you step back, key in hand, and you watch as slowly the roof collapses in. Another part of the roof collapses in upon itself. The storefront, like the umbrella over it, folds down and like shoves it in. The house seems to be collapsing in and folding itself up until there's just a barren plot of land in front of you and a door. The door is a dull, unremarkable wood compared to the immaculate, intricate door that you had just taken the key out of.
I knew we should have thrown a kegger.
Well, anyway.
Can you unlock it? I think I forgot something.
I'm sure we'll be back.
Yeah. You do not try to reopen the door?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. You set off? Yeah, I mean, you guys would have some basic supplies, and you kind of set off, and I'm gonna bring us back to the main map, and we'll zoom on in to that 13th age logo, which is going to be your character path, and you would know that Fort Forlorn is really right up here at the north of the lake. So I'm gonna move you guys one step here
It's
as
just
you make your way up.
Just a short 2-hex jaunt.
As I was saying, like 2 days. I think each hex is kind of like a day's worth of travel, roughly.
Okay.
So you guys spend the day walking. It's some sort of it's cool. It's forest. I would say it's fall right now, so it's brisk but not too cold. And you're making your way north along a well-trod path. Again, this is towards a fort that's associated with Drux Landing. It's helped protect the area. And as you come to, actually, you know what? I'd love it if all of you guys roll me some of your background. That's kind of like how you would be sort of doing in D&D. It'd be kind of a survival role, but I want to kind of like how your characters would be traversing the world, living. You know what I mean? Like your what is a survival role mean to your characters? Like how they are progressing. Noticing the surroundings, right? So it could be an intelligence roll, it could be a wisdom roll.
So
Real man knowledge.
Ernest has a background as a hunting outfitter.
Mhm.
So he is like it's kind of like a ranger-ish background.
Mhm.
Kind of knows how to survive in the wild, knows how to teach other people to survive in the wild. 19.
19?
Mhm.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I have a background in survival
Mhm.
training, growing up with the tundras,
Oh,
doing
cool.
the kind of military stuff. So, but I guess that's a wisdom.
Yeah, if
you
you want.
think?
Wisdom is good. Yeah, that's like if you sort of wisdom is
Bad
like
for me.
street smarts. Okay.
Oh, that's 20.
Nice.
Yeah, I just don't know how you charisma right there, but that's great. Okay.
And I'll do Hushblade again. 16.
16. Cool. So I guess what part of what I want is this is what is your character doing? So like as a hunting outfitter and you're like walking a path, like what are the kind of things that you're looking out for or that you would be noticing on
Sure.
a forested path?
So I think mostly what he's looking for is making sure that we're going the right direction.
Okay.
So kind of like, following the main path. We're not getting pulled off on, like deer pathways and like
Mhm.
other roads and stuff. We want to make sure we're staying on the same road. Which we're going to a fort, so I assume like armies would march back and forth.
Yeah.
So just like making sure that like, the roads that an army marches on would be different than like the roads a merchant would take that would go elsewhere. So kind of like just following that, like the correct road.
Cool. Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, you definitely are following. That would make sense. You know what to look for in that way. Similarly, then, so like with phalanx, I mean, you've rolled really well, but like, yeah, what does survival mean to you in this circumstance?
Yeah, I
Background
think
is
his under
survival.
That's a good point.
one of
Yes.
my backgrounds is survival.
Probably survival list technically would be the background. But
Oh, survival list. Sure,
Yeah.
I can.
did I say someone like you're
Survival.
used to like rugged, independent living? Yeah.
Yeah, outdoors, especially surviving kind of tough areas. I think he takes the rear of the group as the kind of like heavily armored person because he knows that like both in nature from like animals, but also like ambushers will pick off the people in the back because they have their backs turned. So he puts himself in the position to protect the others, but he also looks out for signs in the surrounding area. So broken branches, the sounds of like, are there all of a sudden like, does the nature around them quieten for any reason? Like things that would be alerts to like keep them out of harm's way. So while somebody's kind of got the path, he's constantly checking around to make sure there's not anything that's like an alert that they're like walking a trap or like walking to a dangerous area or like predators could be prowling nearby or whatever it is.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, what's the Hushblade doing in the wilderness, Anthony?
That's probably what I was gonna say something very similar to what Greg said. So
We determined he's in
I
back.
make
You're
fire.
in front.
yeah.
Is there anything magical that you do? Interestingly, like
Yeah,
you have wards, you have survival, like that kind of thing. I'd be curious what that looks like.
that's a good point. I think that she'll yeah, maybe do some sort of like arcane searching and see if there are any kind of like ley lines around. See if there's any magical hotspots around here. That would be good for that.
Cool. I think sensing for ley lines. You don't sense magic, but I do think you pick up on a sense of like that there's been trouble on the road, like almost a thing like there's been blood spilled. I think similarly, keeping with the soldiers lines, like the soldiers path, Joe, like you see signs of things. There's been struggles, there's been scuffles, there's been even things like blood, dead animals, things that we like feel out of place. And I think these all send Phalanx's hackles up as well. This road should be safe. It's clearly not. Something has been shifting, and as you all come to a clearing, again a wide path, you find yourselves. You stop and listen, and from the nearby dead trees, you see the leaves rustling in it until you realize those not leaves. They're not. There's no wind. How are they moving? What is rustling? And as you realize in horror, they are not leaves. They are bats, and massive hordes of bats fly off. You're not surprised. You were ready for action, but they come out, gnashing their teeth and flapping their terrible wings. And we're gonna leave it here for next week. So, thanks, thanks everyone for joining us. Not next week actually, but the next time we play. Thanks everyone for joining. Hope you join us on our next time we play, which will probably be in 2 weeks. I think. But we'll see.
So.
2 weeks, we hope.
We hope. And thanks everyone for playing. This was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I almost just
subscribe.
disconnected from Discord instead of stopping the stream. Follow us on Instagram, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you very much.